Hello, everyone. Welcome to Taz Talk. My name is Taz, and with me today is a very special guest. I have with me today an author of an upcoming book, Belonging Secrets to Soothe the Soul. This woman with me today is someone I know you're going to want to meet. She is a speaker, she's an author, she is a podcaster, and an addiction advocate. This is Bobbie, the awesome Malatesta. Welcome, Bobbie.
Hello, Taz. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. It's our pleasure. So, I want to talk with you a little bit today about the book that you are participating in. And let's start with, and I want to find out a little bit more about you and share that with the audience. So, tell me, what inspired you to write your chapter in this book?
Well, ironically, it's belonging, right? So, meeting you ladies, the group of 9, or we were larger at one point, it was everybody's passion and connection. And it made sense. Like, I can remember going back to us writing the caterpillar chapters way back in the beginning, and it's been a beautiful journey seeing what it's morphed into, pun intended.
Awesome. And so you met these, tell me a little bit about the how you met the people. Now there's 9 authors in the book.
Yes.
How did you meet them? And have you is this like when you meet, have you met in person, or like when, and how did you meet and come together?
Well, we came together on a post in a mutual learning. We were all in the same class learning. And Eve, I would say between you and her are like our fearless leaders. Eve posted about Abraham Hicks, and I shared this on one of the other interviews, and I don't even know that you know this, Taz. I didn't know who Abraham Hicks was until about a week before that post went up. And I had shared with Eve my journey. If I didn't gamble, and then I didn't recover, and then I didn't move back to New York, like all these things had to happen. I was at lunch with a lady the week or so before Eve posted that, and that was the first time I ever heard of Abraham Hicks. And she's like, you need to look that up. So Eve's post, I can remember that feeling of, okay, I'm supposed to respond to this. And that was really what opened the door for it. And then as far as meeting in person, so I technically have lived in Connecticut or New York most of the time. And I've gotten to meet you twice.
Yes, we have. That's been quite fun.
Yes. Bananas Foster, amazing steak, getting to explore your town. It was pretty special. Which is crazy because the whole time I lived in New York, I didn't meet any of the 3 ladies from New York. So shame on me. So I got some work to do.
Well, life is a journey, and that's the whole fun thing. And I'm actually, participating in this book as well. And one of the things that I thought was so powerful about this book and about, writing about belonging and how we each explored something that was very personal and empowering for us on our writing, our transformational writing journey. We shared, and we were incredibly vulnerable. And when we shared these stories with each other, we realized just how powerful it was and how much that this message really needed to get out to the world. And it's really fascinating that all 9 of the women are very different, come from different backgrounds. And your background and your story, without, we don't want any spoiler alerts here, but we don't want to spoil the story, but we do want to explore a little about, being an addiction advocate. Some of that comes up in your story. What were the themes that you were exploring when you were touching on belonging?
In 2020, Taz, I had what I called my spiritual awakening. And what that did was made me realize that every experience that I had, addiction or otherwise, was what I needed to be grateful for, and not resent, not play victim, not get lost in all the comparing to and other than. And that's, trust me, it didn't all get solved in 2020, right? I've said to you guys many times, it's like, oh, do I even belong here? Because I
Mhm.
felt that you girls were ahead of me in different parts of life. So um, it was an adventure even after we went through it. But my chapter really leads up to, you know, my frame of mind now compared to what it was before.
Tell me a little bit about your frame of mind now. And you said a little bit about being grateful, and I also heard you feel like when you joined the group, you didn't feel like you belonged, or that you were a little bit behind the other folks. Looking back now, what would you tell your former self, having kind of been through that and hung out with us for a little while?
Well, it's not, there was nothing to be scared of or intimidated by. And we talk about being exactly where we are when we're, when we are where we are, exactly how we're supposed to be. And you've taught me, well, you've taught me many things, but the language around things that I say and to never apologize and different things like that. So I think I would tell myself to not overthink it. Don't
Mm.
question myself. We talked about authenticity a little before we got on the air, and your journey and your writing. And I think that's what it is just be authentically me. Not that I don't think I was acting, but I think I was more guarded in the beginning for sure.
Hmm. I think part of that for anyone is wanting to feel like they're welcome where they are in a group, and that they're safe. And a lot of that safety, we carry those our experiences that we've had, in our, when we're younger, and our brain is amazing and how we're designed to survive. And if we're in an environment where it's not safe and we have to present in a certain way, we're going to do that because we want to be accepted. We want to feel welcome. And, we're going into a new environment. And I'm glad, to say that none of us had fangs, and you're alive and talking today. So you
You just gave
survived.
you just gave me an epiphany, Taz, as you were
Oh,
saying
great.
that
Okay.
about the safety and the environment. It
Mm-hmm.
really had nothing to do, like my apprehension had nothing to do with you all as individuals. And maybe this is a lesson for the audience. To your point, like you said, it was kind of the past experience. But up until 2020, where I really got immersed in digital learning and all the things that we were, well, I think we still play in, the work environment, right? The work, and we were
Mm-hmm.
working on something, has always been cutthroat, and women have been evil, right? The gossiping, me no exception. I was just as bad, right? Feeling threatened, wanting to do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
um Very judgy, whether intentional or not. Again, still coming from the past, it
Mm-hmm.
happened. But you're right, it had to be like all those beliefs had to be broken, and they were in our group. So it really had nothing to do with you and how you treated me, you collectively, but
Mm-hmm.
it was bringing my luggage with me into the group.
And actually, but one of the things that's really wonderful is when you find that sense of belonging and connection. And one of the things I think that's so powerful about this book is that it was the journey, and the friends that you make along the way, that is like has such power. You really, brought some things to the group, but you really had to face yourself, because it wasn't about us, as you said. We were just there. And so you brought this luggage, and then you unpacked it, and you thought, oh, wow, I don't really need this anymore. And then allowed you, to emerge. Um, that's, really, it's really exciting. So, now you do some podcasting. That's really exciting. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I started my podcast in 2019 to raise awareness around gambling addiction. In my head, it was going to go one way, and it's actually delivered me things that have been very unexpected. I think my favorite part is getting to meet all the people that I get to meet and getting all the knowledge. I get to ask them whatever I want to ask them, and I've have a culmination of information that continues to evolve, and some great friends that I will talk to probably forever. So,
Oh, wow, that's wonderful. That is wonderful. And what's on the horizon for your podcast? What are
well,
you doing now? Hmm.
These interviews will be on the podcast. I'll share all our belonging team. I've been catching up, and we have food specialty specialists, stress specialists, a coach. Could you imagine doing what we're doing now 25 years ago? This guy that I interviewed today, 25 years ago, he knew the things, the coaching, the personal development. I was like, damn, I wish I was on that journey that long ago. I know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, but
Exactly. You knew that was coming.
but you know who else is coming? So my dream is a chain of recovery playgrounds, right? But the one of the facets of it is having my favorite band there because they're in recovery and they're,
Hmm.
you know, sober. And I want to have a venue where there's no alcohol when they play. And you asked what's coming up on the podcast soon. I'm going to get to interview the band manager who's in recovery on my podcast. He agreed to it when they get back from Europe. It was a big deal.
That's very, very exciting. That is really wonderful. Congratulations. I'm excited. I can't wait to hear that. So I'll be waiting and to hear for some news of when that comes out. So you'll let us know. Well, I think we're getting close to time here. Thank you so much, Bobbie, for joining us today. Before we close out, one of the things that I like to do on Taz Talk is, we cultivate curiosity. And the whole idea is to explore ways where we can live an inspired life. And I'm wondering, if you think back to your chapter, and I encourage everyone to, get a copy of the book because there's some really amazing, heartfelt, uplifting stories that you can really connect to, and it can help you connect with yourself and learn what would be a piece of wisdom and insight that you gained through your transformational writing in the belonging book and your journey there that you could share with others that might be watching this. It could be around addiction, it could be something else, but what would you like to share with the listeners?
I think one of the most important things, and I would bring this up again, is being true to yourself. Don't worry about if my writing matches Taz's writing, matches Eve's writing, right? Like, it doesn't have to. We have different styles, we have different personalities. So that would be what I would say about having an inspired life. Like, know that you get to be yourself.
Oh, that's wonderful. Knowing that you get to be yourself and you're exactly where you need to be in the timing that you are. Thank you so much, Bobbie. Bobbie, the awesome. You are awesome, and thank you for joining us and being our guest today. Take care.
Thanks, Taz.
Bye-bye, everybody.